Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great pre-Thanksgiving day. I wanted to jump on here real quick and just do a quick video with some tips for those that are coming to your get-togethers, whether Christmas or Thanksgiving or any time, that may have a different diet than you do or have diet restrictions. As someone myself who has a diet restriction, I really encourage you that when you have these people over for the holidays, please be thoughtful that they are not just trying to cause you any stress, I promise. There are serious health conditions and allergies that warrant a diet change. Some choose not to kill animals and are staying away from artery clogging foods that cause heart disease because maybe they have heart disease and they're trying to clean up their act and try to get better. Some are limiting certain foods because they're on a macrobiotic diet or because they've had cancer and they've been encouraged to limit certain types of foods. Some are gluten-free because they're allergic to gluten. Some are peanut-free because they're allergic to peanuts. So, and you have to be considerate to that. And some are plant-based because they feel better when they're plant-based. So we shouldn't discourage anyone from feeling better or doing what they need to do, because honestly, it's hard enough in this world when you have different menu choices than the average person. Some people really make you feel uncomfortable because of these things, but we are what we eat after all. So if somebody doesn't want to eat turkey, we need to appreciate that and appreciate everybody's differences. So instead of making, I know I've been in the position where people have made me feel like the oddball out. And that I'm just being difficult. I've went to restaurants where I asked for this or asked for this to be left off or whatever, and they huff and puff and walk away like I'm just trying to be one of those annoying customers, and I'm not. I really want to eat a certain way because I feel better when I do. I've had health crises, and I don't want to have any more, so I'm trying to do my part, to eat healthier. And nowadays, there really isn't any excuse for us not to try to make that extra effort for those people with the diet restrictions. With all the products on the market for alternative diets and allergies, and with our labeling now that we can see what's gluten-free or what is nut-free and different things, there's really no excuse anymore for us not to make that effort for those people, because, sometimes diet changes are hard enough for those people that maybe really used to love gluten and now they're gluten-free. So I'm just kind of telling y'all, I know how it is, and I've been made to feel very less than welcome at restaurants and people's homes. But like anybody else, I just want to enjoy it, and I want to have something similar to what you are having when you sit down to eat. We're not trying to stand out, honestly. I'd rather blend in. It's very difficult when you go to a restaurant and you already know that you may have a battle in front of you just ordering your food and whether you're going to get food that you can eat. So I just ask that we be considerate. And I wanted to jump on here and give you some little tips about ordering and things like that. So let's talk about it. I made some notes, okay? Let me tell you, there is nothing worse than seeing a huge table full of wonderful foods and your hostess telling you, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can eat here because you have that different diet, but I might be able to find you some salad. Well, with all due respect, I love salad, but when you're diving into your turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy, I'd like something more than salad, because you know what? I need to get full too. And guess what? We can eat mashed potatoes and we can eat gravy and we can have substitutes to turkey. We do still like the feeling of having meat and potatoes like we were raised with. I mean, I used to eat the regular diet. So, it's like telling somebody that's went to a buffet and you see all this beautiful food and you're telling them, just eat the crackers on the table that are there, because you can't go up to the bar because, you can't eat that. So what I would say is talk to the people that are coming to your get-together about their restrictions. What can I do to have some items here that you would like? Or ask them to share some recipes or share their Pinterest page and tell them, let me know if there's something I can make that would make you that's one of your favorites or something. And if it's too difficult, ask them also to bring something. And don't label it as gluten-free or vegan. Just put it out there with a cute little tag and put that, this is a special item or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to go through some things and talk to you. It's always nice to offer to have them, people bring different diet, choices like recipes and things. It makes people feel also welcome. Like, wow, you would like to eat something that I make, even though I know you don't really like my diet or you have preconceived notions about my diet, that it's all going to taste horrible, which I face that a lot. So, but let me just give you some advice. Sometimes if you don't put a label on it of saying it's vegan or gluten-free or whatever, you'd be surprised at the people that'll taste it and actually not know the difference. So I'm going to give you some tips for the regular fare for Thanksgiving. We all know that I know my husband's been asking me for mashed potatoes. And believe it or not, we're vegan. Mashed potatoes are vegetarian. So a suggestion for anyone making a meal for someone that has diet restrictions, and if there's several people that may have diet restrictions, you can make 2 batches of mashed potatoes, like separate your one big batch and make a little batch there. Or you could always just make your mashed potatoes with unsweetened, unflavored almond, cashew, oat, rice, or soy milk, instead of putting your dairy. And some people don't put milk in it, but I know I do, to make it creamy or whatever. I tell you, I promise you, 9 out of 10 people do not realize the difference if you don't use dairy milk. I serve it at potlucks, and people don't know the difference. So those other options are available for your mashed potatoes. And if you like, you have to put vegan butter, and you have to put butter in them, put vegan butter. But I would suggest just leaving your mashed potatoes with some herbs and maybe onion and garlic powder or whatever, and the nut milk. And then on the side, if people want to add butter or something, have those options on the side. Also, if you cook your vegetables normally in lard or some kind of animal fat, in respect to people that may have restrictions to that, cook your vegetables in herbs and onions and garlic. We can eat all that, and use vegan butters. There's tons of vegan butters out there. If you don't want that, put it on the side. Have it there as an option so that they don't feel like they're so ostracized. You know what I mean? If other folks want regular butter, have that available there. You can always put your own butter on, but if you put it in the whole batch of mashed potatoes, then when someone comes up to you and says, is this something I can eat? And they have a restriction. Oh, I'm sorry. So that whole big batch of mashed potatoes, you can't take, and butter is something you can add yourself, just like salt and other things. Also, have vegetables there. Have a lot of veggie trays. That makes it so that we have some options. Veggie trays, salads with simple ingredients. If you get simple, clear looking Italian dressings, most of those don't have dairy or cheese in them. Have various crackers, like gluten-free and non-cheese crackers, like not the Cheez-Its all the time or anything. Have Triscuits or Wheat Thins or other of those really nice crackers. And have it with a various amount of hummus, like have red pepper hummus or garlic hummus and original hummus or whatever, and have a few of them setting out in nice little dishes on a tray with the crackers. That makes it so that, if we couldn't have the turkey and we couldn't have this and that, we still could get full and we could still enjoy the meal with everybody else and fill our plates. Because it's a lot of, there's a lot of people that get very offended if I don't take everything on the menu there. But at the same time, I respect that you want to eat meat. So please respect that I don't want to eat meat. And that's why if these little things like veggie trays and things like cracker trays, then guess what? I can still get something to eat and something to fill me up. So also with the crackers and everything, we also can have a nut tray. You can have a tray with, like they always do, around the holiday season. It seems like we only eat nuts and their shells and everything around the holidays or something. But anyway, it's nice to have a big assorted nut tray. They're full of protein. That's one of our sources of protein too, and give you energy and everything else like that. But protein's in your salad, protein's everywhere. So If you're eating, you've got enough protein. So also have fruit trays, because many people can can fill up on some fruit instead of, like, if you don't have a dessert for them or whatever. Fruit, sometimes if you have a nice thing of a nice fruit tray or a fruit salad, that can take the place, of, somebody's dessert that they can't have. But if you're really trying to make someone feel welcome and at home, and you can afford it, there are vegan and gluten-free packaged cookies on the market and frozen items on the market that would be a special treat for someone coming that can't eat your other baked goods. And buying a goodie, and having it that, you go down to the where the food is, and you see the desserts and you see all these pies and everything, and none of them you can eat. So as you sit and you go back down to your seat and you don't have anything on your plate as a dessert, it really makes you feel very uncomfortable, very unloved. So if you can have a little goodie, even if it's a boxed goodie that was vegan or gluten-free or whatever, nut-free or whatever allergy you have or menu choice you have, a restriction, it makes you feel a lot better that you have something sweet too. We like to have those things. I may not eat these things every day, like packaged goods. I make most things from scratch and stuff, but for holidays, you make exceptions because it's a special occasion, Another thing, this isn't a have to, because most of us that are vegan are very comfortable without a meat option all the time. We don't have to have a imitation or meat analog or whatever, but it is nice on the holidays to have that. So there are a ton of them out there. You got Tofurkey, veggie burgers, meatballs. They come in all kinds of brands. Boca, Gardein, Impossible Burger, Incognito, Beyond Meat, etc. And a lot of these are vegan and gluten-free, so you could kind of hit two birds with one stone. And these are really nice because these are something like, especially they have the meatballs already made. You just basically either can bake them or put them in saute them, and they're ready to roll. And makes you feel, you just put them with some standard marinara sauce and you're good to go, and somebody can have that's vegan. And what I suggest is that label them with cute tags. All the things that are vegan or gluten-free or nut-free or whatever, label them, but don't label them, like I said, don't label them gluten-free or nut-free or whatever. Label them with cute little tags. Maybe a smiling turkey, because of course a turkey that doesn't get eaten is a happy turkey. For Thanksgiving you could do the turkey, or you could do for Christmas Christmas tree or a reindeer or a snowflake or something, and so that you can tell the person when they come, everything with a snowflake you can eat. And you're like, okay, cool, And then nobody had to know about it. And other people will also try things that they normally wouldn't try. So it's kind of cool. Also, telling people that there's something special. There's something for you. I thought of you to do this. So another idea is put the ingredient list there. Like what I do at our potlucks, because we have people with allergies, we put the box. If it's a packaged item, we put the box. If it's not a packaged item and it's made homemade, we put the recipe right next to it. So people can read down the recipe and see if there's anything they don't eat, and then they know not to eat it. It doesn't offend anybody. And there's been several people who've said, I really am thankful you wrote that recipe down, because when you're done serving it, could I have the recipe? And it's just a nice way to kind of share that with someone else. So lastly, if there's people who don't want caffeine, some people don't. I don't drink caffeine. And they can't eat, of course, I can't drink regular eggnog or whatever. Have herbal teas. There's caffeine-free herbal teas. All of like lemon zinger. There's also apple cider. You could buy those in boxes and have it in little packets that people can have with hot water. There's also a dairy and gluten-free eggnog. There's also, to spice it up, you can also buy the almond, oat, or coconut whips that are already made that you could put on these little herbal teas or whatever. And another thing, if they can have caffeine and they are gluten-free, they may want oat creamer or coconut creamer or something like that. So have those available. It's just really nice to be thought about and appreciated. Embrace your friends and family this holiday season and everyone that you may be meeting that you've never met before. Let's all appreciate our differences. God created each of us unique and beautiful. Count your blessings this holiday season. God bless y'all.